Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Fucking thank goodness that the full-time whistle has been blown. Oh, my mic's not even plugged in. I'm getting so excited the mic wasn't even plugged in. I hope you're all well. The very first fan cam of the season, Liverpool 4 and Leeds United 3. What an incredible game that was at Anfield. Mo Salah scores 4 now in his first 4 games of each of the 4 seasons he started with Liverpool. Let's waste no more time in getting in my first guest of the afternoon or evening, let's call it. He's shaking his head in absolute disbelief. James, my brother, talk to me. Try and get some words out right now. 4-3.
I'll try my best, mate. Right, the only thing I can really start off with, as it's at the forefront of my brain, Mohamed Salah is an absolute sexy bastard, mate. Do you know what? Yeah, a lot of people give Mohamed Salah a lot of criticism, especially like opposition fans. Liverpool fans love him, of course, but mate, like I understand that people can say like, oh, Mane's better, this, that. Everyone in our team is quality, but without Mohamed Salah, mate, you do not win that game today. And not even just because of the goals that he scores, everything that he was doing, the intricacy of his play, the link-up that he was doing. Today, he looks like the most unselfish player on that pitch. Mohamed Salah, mate, looked unreal. The way he was just dancing past the Leeds defenders. It's Mo Salah, absolutely. I'm going to say already man of the match.
Yeah, Mo Salah man of the match, no doubt about that. Let's take it right back to the start then, James. So 3 minutes in, Salah scores a penalty. For me, it is a pen. And then it's 1-1, 2-1. Verge scores the header, and you're thinking, right, we're back on top in this game. Got a foot firmly in the door. Let's shut it. 2-2, Bamford, awful, lackadaisical mistake from Van Dijk, who's a bit complacent, you could say. Then it goes 3-2 to Liverpool. 3-3, making it the first time we've thrown away 3 goals from a 3-goal leading position in many, many games. And then it's 4-3 right at the end. Talk to me about how your journey was for the old ticker, just a bit like mine, from minute 0 to 90. Loads of comments coming in here.
You're missing out. You're absolutely missing out all the offside goals that was involved in that game, all the disallowed goals. Mate, that game was just insane from start to finish. Like, as a Liverpool fan, believe me, my heart was in my mouth the whole entire game. But for a neutral, I could not think of a more exciting way to be introduced by what was the king of the Premier League and the king of the championship. Mate, like that was just an insane game, and it was built up so well. Of course, Leeds play such a weird style of football. It's so dynamic, it's so strange, but it works. One thing I said to you just before this, I can really see Leeds giving teams a lot of nosebleeds this season, and that's the way I felt throughout the game. I was like, don't get me wrong, Liverpool are playing well offensively, of course, and I said this going into the game. I do feel like Liverpool's vulnerabilities at the back is going to cost us, which it did 3 times. But I do believe in Jurgen Klopp when he talks about, it's going to take time for the team to adjust. But as for this game alone, I was so impressed with Leeds. And like I said, I feel like they're going to, I feel like a lot of big teams are going to look at this game and think it was a, poor performance from Liverpool, which, believe me, it weren't vintage Liverpool. But I do also put it down to the fact that Leeds are a very good side. And I feel like they're going to come in like a Wolves, like a Sheffield United, and not be competing for them relegation spots, mate. We could see Leeds really go as far to fight for as Europe, because that's how good they play. And that's how good they looked against the champions of England today. But that game was just 90 minutes of emotion, mate. I don't know about you, but for me, it was insane, lad.
Absolutely unbelievable emotions. Let's talk about some of the things that maybe let us down today. Let's see this comment here from Matteo. He says, Trent Alexander-Arnold not fit, Gomez awful, Keita awful, big mistake leaving out Fabinho. Firmino can't finish his dinner. Awful performance. I mean, he does make some valid points in there, James. Fabinho not playing. I mean, you saw he came on and won us the winning penalty. Firmino, for me, very, very unclinical today. I think he could have put away a few chances. Keita wasn't awful. Gomez wasn't awful. Trent didn't have the best game. Talk to us about that side of things today, James.
Well, listen, mate, like one thing I said before, defensively was just not good enough, and we cannot go forward like that. Of course, we go 2-0 down to Blackpool. We see signs there. We go 2-0 down to Salzburg. We see signs there. We get away with them 2 games, of course, they're pre-season. And then it came to this, and I don't know, mate. I don't really know how to explain how bad that was. Of course, with Virgil van Dijk in his situation, it was what it was. As for those players that he's just mentioned, mate, you know, I also agree with the Fabinho thing. I was very surprised to see him not start, especially with how vulnerable we have been at the back. I thought it was a good call to make when he brought him on. I thought the substitutions were a bit questionable, like bringing on Curtis Jones. I didn't see the point of that substitution in that moment of the game because we weren't leading. It was 3-3. It was just like, what? Like, why is that happening? And, you know, I did question a few of the tactics from the manager. However, I think that is a bit harsh, and rightly so. He made good points, and I'm not saying he's not allowed to voice his opinion. Firmino was off form. The defence was was not sharp today. However, it is the first game of the season. Jurgen Klopp has said it himself. Training can do so much, but game time itself is what gets you results. And lastly, just one quick thing, mate. If you can win those type of games, where you're so close to losing, that's what the champions do, and that's what we done last year.
Absolutely. It was one of those moments, wasn't it, where even with 10 minutes to go, you thought, well, we're Liverpool. We are going to get a chance to win the game. And we did. They even said in commentary, you could see it coming. You could see it coming. Jack Angie there, Leeds fan who's in his feelings, not too happy there. Matteo says, don't get me wrong, I'm happy we won, guys, but come on, it wasn't a good performance at all. Listen, I think we all know that today. I think we're all absolutely relieved, if anything, that the full-time whistle did go in the end. Let's not lie, man. If that game carries on for 10, 15 more minutes, Leeds could have easily got an equaliser. I was shitting myself when they got that free kick right at the end. But James, talk to me about Salah's second goal. His second goal. I mean, there wasn't much space to aim at in that goal frame, but he found that space and it absolutely arrows in, and he's back. 3 goals in the first game, top of the Golden Boot charts already, Mohamed Salah.
That's just what he does. He scores goals. You know, he does miss a few chances, but mate, he gets the majority of them in, and that's one most important thing about Mohamed Salah, mate. Like, even though he's not a striker, he gets the numbers of a striker. And today, he just shown he kind of steps out on that pitch as if he's the main man. Like, he feels that deep down in his heart. Of course, it's 11 men, but with him, he feels like he's the one, brother. And today he was. That goal, just supreme confidence. And like you said, for him to be the golden, you know, to be the top of the Golden Boot chart already, he's making statements. And I feel like Mo Salah is a big shout this year because you've got to understand he's in his prime. He's not like getting out of it. He's in his prime. He had that great first season. He's done well since. But I think this year we could see a lot of goals from Mohamed Salah. We could even see it as his second highest goal scoring season behind his first, because that was just unreal. But today was unbelievable from him, mate. And today weren't vintage Liverpool. I do want to say it, weren't a great performance. But offensively, you cannot ignore, we looked really good. I understand defensively was poor, but offensively, we look better in some ways than what we did last year. But defensively, we need to get more compact, mate, 100%.
I think Bobby Firmino is excellent today in terms of the link-up. Finishing wasn't so good. But do you know what, James? I haven't seen a game like this played at Anfield where both teams employ such a high press. Sometimes one ball over the top, they were in. Sometimes it would be the other way around. These teams today, they both, and this is what you have to sit back and respect about Leeds, right? Bielsa has come in today and he's tried to play us at his own game, and you have to take your hat off to that. I think many teams, including relegated teams that have just come up, obviously would put 10 or 11 men behind the ball and play it safe. But Leeds, in fairness to them today, James, gave it absolutely everything, and they opened us up many times, and probably, for being honest, should have got an equaliser.
No, yeah, definitely, mate. And you know, if any Leeds fans are watching, of course you should be disappointed because you lost the game, but you shouldn't be disappointed in your team's performance. You shouldn't be disappointed in the outcome of how the team should feel in terms of the way they play, because they did play well. It was just defensively for them. They were really poor. However, they were facing the champions of England, like I said before. But, mate, we fought Leeds at the worst time, in my opinion. The first game of the Premier League season, they play different football to literally everyone else in the Premier League. Literally everyone else. They've got a different system. The manager plays it differently. He's going to introduce a new style of football to the Premier League, mate. And I think we saw glimpses of that today. And do you know what? Even when we were level, Leeds were still going for the winner. They were still going for the winner. You told, if I weren't a football fan and you told me, by the way, this team has just came up from what is the second best division in English football, and they're facing the champions who were coming off a season where it was one of the most dominating years in history of football, and like if you weren't a football fan and you was told that would be insane. That would blow your head off at how well Leeds played today. So they should absolutely keep their heads up 100%.
Yeah, one more last word going into the second game of the season now against Chelsea, James, next week. I mean, and the games come thick and fast. This one's out the way now. Chelsea obviously play on Monday, I think it is, against Brighton. And then it's another huge game for us next week.
Massive, mate. And you know, that's why today was all the more important to get those very needed 3 points, because now you're going into Chelsea, and then is it Arsenal after that?
Yeah, Arsenal third game, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go, mate. Like, an Arsenal have just beat us. So they're games that you can lose points in, whether it's 2 points or 3. You can lose points in them games. I don't know how Chelsea are going to look, of course, so I'm not, like, you know, overly worried. I'm never worried when I'm a Liverpool fan, but always in the game, just like today. Even when it got to 3-3, like you said before, we're Liverpool, we feel like we can get back in any situation. Just as for that game against Chelsea, I'm going to have to see their game against Brighton, but it's just defensively. We just need to be a bit more compact. I'm not worried about us scoring goals. It's just that other side. Van Dijk, today he had an off day. He needs to really get that. Whatever boots he was wearing before that made him the greatest centre-back of all time, or at least looked like it. Mate, he needs to wear them again because I'm missing him. And then on top of that, maybe even give Matip a go, because like you said, Gomez was a bit off. It would be good to see Matip maybe implement it back into the team. And then Trent and Robbo, mate, they're just going to get, they're just slowly and surely. Of course, we've heard things about Trent's injury problems and stuff like that. I thought he still played sound. He's never been known for his defensive side of things. Still created a lot offensively. It's just the defensive part of that team that needs to be fixed before Chelsea, or at least improved.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to let you go, man. Thank you so much for coming on. First, whenever James won, he's got the guaranteed first place right here on the Kop TV. Listen, my bro, I'm going to see you very soon. Take care. And see you for the next one, yeah?
Love people. Love you, Alex, lad. See you soon.
Right then, he's been waiting in the wings. Welford TV. It's been a long time, little man. How are you, my bro? Oh, I think you've actually muted yourself.
Sorry.
There you go, Welford.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on, but it's good to be back. Good to get the season back and running. But Jesus Christ, it wasn't half a weird one today, but we got the 3 points. That was the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. 4-3 in the end. We start off the game so well. 1-0 inside 4 minutes. 1-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2 before half time. Before 30 minutes, they actually just said it was the second time there's ever been 5 goals in one half in the first day of the season. 3-3, obviously, 4-3 at the end. Welford, talk to me about your overriding emotions there.
Well, obviously, there's a bit of I didn't really know how Leeds would like shape up and how they play, because obviously we know how good they were last year in the Championship, but there's such a big difference between the Championship and the Prem. And then when Sal scored the pen, I just thought it'd be a bit like Norwich. They might score and get an equaliser, but then I think it was boss through them. And then, yeah, it was like the 70-minute stage, and you sat here thinking, Bobby Firmino was just missing about 2 sitters. Yeah. And I'd say the stage between like 55 to 70, we had so many chances when Salah and Mane went up the pitch 2v1 or something, kept on giving it each other, and Mane skied it. Salah had like a volley, Bobby had 2 chances, and then it would have been like 7-2 if all them chances got put away. But obviously they didn't, and then when they equalised, when the click was a good finish, then you start thinking, oh, we're going to get the chance. But for the past like 2 years, I think everyone can agree, every time Liverpool have ever been getting beat or they're drawing late on, they always seem to come through with either a winner or something happens in the game to give us the 3 points. And at the end of the day, we can't be too fuming. I know it was a poor performance. Some people are a bit off it, but it's the first game of the season. The 3 points is what we got and what we needed, and we've done that. So,
yeah, absolutely spot on analysis there, Welford. I think you're right in saying, especially in the last 2 years, whenever we're needing a goal or an equaliser in the last 10 minutes, you kind of feel comfortable that we're going to get the chance. Fabinho, who didn't start today, comes on as a sub 70-75 minutes, finds himself in the box, and their sub, Rodrigo, brings him down for a penalty. I mean, are both of those penalties for you today stonewallers?
The first one, 100%, because his arm is out, and that's not a normal like figure of the person. So 100% that. Then the second one, when I first seen it, obviously everyone's first reaction is pen, and then he does clip him in like the leg. But I don't know. I think the first one's definitely a pen, but other days you might not get it. But I think every referee, if they went to VAR, they'd probably end up giving it. So yeah, I'd say there were definitely still more penalties for me.
Yeah, like you said, 4 goals in the end. It could have been 6 or 7, I think. Mane missed, obviously, a big one. Firmino got the ball stuck under his feet a bit. Wasn't too fantastic build-up play from Bobby today. Just the finishing that wasn't there. And there was a few other chances that maybe we could have done better with. Verge had another header. Talk to me about Verge, though. I think I touched on it there with James. That ball that comes over to Bamford that he kind of flicks on to Bamford, 9 times out of 10 last season, we've seen how nonchalantly he brings the ball down from those big passes. 9 out of 10 times that goes to Robbo. Today it didn't, and it looked complacent.
Yeah, it did. Obviously, was it? Oh, I don't know what game it was. Was it last season when the ball came over top Simler and Van Dijk and Alisson both came out, and the team, I don't know who it was, but they ended up scoring from it, and it was similar against when you see the ball go over, you're like, oh, Alisson's coming out a bit. But then against Brighton a couple of weeks ago, when in the restart, Van Dijk did a similar thing for Mope, and he did it over his head, and it was dead good. And I think he maybe had that in his mind, or he didn't think that Bamford would still be chasing so far behind him. And yeah, I think for me, he should have just absolutely well. He did, even if it went out for a corner, if it went out for everything, obviously it'd be a bit like, oh, but it's better just to keep it safe. And yeah, it probably wouldn't have been as nerve-wracking the whole game if he would have cleared it. But we can't get on his case too much because the amount of times he saves us, we can't have a go at him. But yeah, I think a little bit misplacement. But I think in a couple of games he'll be back to himself and be cutting all out the stuff out.
Yeah, I think what we all have to remember, it's only the first 90 minutes of the season. There's a very, very long way to go. Mussolini here says, I didn't want to say it, but I think we need better than Bobby. He can't finish anything. Sometimes, Bobby obviously does score very important goals for Liverpool, but I would like to, listen, I'm not saying that he can't finish anything. I think that's very, it's just not fair really on Bobby. He does obviously score. However, what I would say is today, like we mentioned there, Welford, he wasn't too clinical. And I would like to see him break that home duck, especially as soon as possible, considering he went every game last season without scoring at Anfield right up until the last game.
Yeah, totally. But I think, bar Mo Salah, I think everyone, and maybe Wijnaldum, I think everyone was a little bit off it. And I think we all know, for me personally, if Firmino if he was injured or wasn't fit for today's game, it'd be a completely different story. And for me, if you just watch what he does, off the ball and even on the ball sometimes, coming deep, he gives Mane and Salah the chances to, get in behind and, come a bit narrower. I think for me, his overall performance is so good. And obviously, we'd like a lot of people would like him to score another 10, 15 goals. But if you take his player of the game, I think we're such a different team and it doesn't gel as well. But you got to think, Mane and Salah, for the past 2 years, I think they've probably got near 15, 20 goals each for the past 2-3 years. So we can't really be bothered about not scoring goals. But I just think it would be nice to see him maybe get another 1 or 2. But I think definitely today, if that was against Chelsea in a couple of weeks, he needs to be burying them because it's a different story then. And if we were getting beat then tonight, and if he didn't score that, you could look back on that later on and thinking if he puts that away, it's back level. So. But yeah, I'm not too bothered with him not burying them because I think what he does on the ball, and if he wasn't in the team half the time, it'd be such a different story. So, but yeah, it would be nice for him to score a couple more goals, but I'm not too forced.
Listen, Welford, you've been an absolute star again today. Perfect analysis, really rate it. Everyone go check out Welford TV. And I love how everyone today who's on the cams has come in the correct shirt as well. Aaron, I've got next up. But Welford, take care, my bro. Listen,
hey, see you later.
And I'll see you on the next fan cam, yeah? Right, Darren Whelan, the man from...
How's things, Alex? All good, buddy?
Yes, all good, all good. Good to see you again. Looking extra red. Talk to me about your feelings at full time. Big relief.
Yeah, huge, Alex. But to be honest with you, it's always a good sign when you don't play well and you win. And obviously, your first home game of the season, or whether it's home or away, the most important thing is the 3 points. Again, Liverpool showed their resilience and that attitude that Jurgen's implemented to never give up, never say die, go right to the end. I mean, there was 85 minutes gone out of the game, and I was still certain we were going to score. As soon as we got the penalty, again, majestic Mo. What can I say? Hat-trick. He's as sharp as a cutthroat today again. Absolutely brilliant. It's 4 seasons in the running now, first game of the season in the league that he's got goals. So, I mean, he's very underrated. And I mean, today I don't know what sort of record we've had after today's game, but 199 points out of 231 is absolutely phenomenal. It has to be a record. And I recall, Alex, back to last season, there was 3 games where we scraped at home. And I mean, we were in brilliant form going into them. It was Brighton at home, I think it was West Ham and Leicester at home, where we just about got over the line, particularly against Leicester. It was a 96-minute penalty from Milner. So, I mean, you're going to get these, Alex. You can't play great every week. You can't just steamroll teams. I mean, how many times in the past have we seen Liverpool playing well and lose, and we're all frustrated or drew, and we've watched United, we've watched City, Chelsea over the years and not play well and win, and we were all calling them fluky, jammy, etc. I mean, it's all about the 3 points, especially on the opening day of the season. This is going to be the longest, most intense season in the history of the Premier League. So we're going to get a lot of games like this. We're going to need to use a lot of the squad. I mean, we've only had 2 pre-season games in Austria, 1 last week. We've had Henderson out. We've had a couple of the lads on international duty. So, but I mean, all's well, ends well, Alex, and I'm absolutely delighted and chuffed with the 3 points, as we should be.
Yeah, it's reading some of the comments here. A huge shout here from Claudia T, who watches every single show. So I definitely value and rate her opinion. She says we need a better partner for Virgil. Now, I'm actually going to disagree with Claudia here. She thinks that we should have played Matip. I mean, if anyone was in the wrong here today, Claudia, I do think it was Virgil. I think Gomez probably shone a little bit more defensively, especially today.
Yeah, well, you have to remember, Alex, Joe Gomez, I mean, he's playing at the elite level. I mean, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Virgil van Dijk, when they were his age, they weren't playing at that level. They hadn't got that experience. I mean, he is very underrated. Okay, he's had 1 or 2 games, particularly towards the end of the season, where he was poor, but we had the title wrapped. Van Dijk as well, he was poor at Arsenal against Chelsea. Arnold, we gave away a couple of stupid goals. But I mean, it was pointless with the League One. We were trying to chase the 100 points. But I mean, to finish the season on 99 points was incredible. Matip and Gomez, I think there's going to be stiff, proper competition between the 2 of them, because they are very injury prone. Normally when Gomez comes into the team, when Lovren and Matip was out last season, he played incredible. Then when Matip came in, he was incredible. But I think overall, the stats would say, and the performances, that Gomez is our best partner to go alongside Virgil. And I think we might buy a centre-half still in this window, but I think it'll be a 4th choice. I don't think we're going to buy anybody of the quality of Gomez or Matip.
Agreed. A tweet I'm just reading now from the LFC page with us. Being a Liverpool fan should come with 3 health insurance. Jesus, my heart can't take a full season of that. I mean, it was such end-to-end basketball-esque type high press, swapping of presses. It was just an unbelievable game to watch, Darren. Certainly for the neutrals, but for Liverpool fans, like Claudia said, like the day trippers have said, that almost gave me a scare in the ticker, man, that one.
Yeah, it was. It was nervy at the best of times, but I mean, it gave us all entertainment. It showed again that Liverpool are capable of not only scoring an early goal and seeing a game out or coming from behind and winning. We can also sometimes have us on the edge of our seats and scrape by and concede loads of goals and score loads of goals. It was kind of like Liverpool 2017-18 season, where defensively we were poor, but going forward we steamrolled teams. And I mean, there's no harm in seeing that now and again, Alex. You know, it gives us entertainment and it keeps us intact with what the sport's all about, I suppose, and that's entertainment. Sometimes there's more to football and watching your team than results, but as a Liverpool fan, we're a bit biased and selfish that we just want results, you know what I mean? But today we got everything. We got entertainment, and obviously the result in the end.
Yeah, talk to me about the subs that came on. Fabinho in the end came on, Matip and Curtis Jones, who actually, Darren, I thought came on and played good.
Yeah, he added a lot of energy, intensity, and he wanted to go forward. He was playing, he was out on the right, he was in the left, he was going central. He'd done some good stuff. You could see he's growing in confidence. He's actually had to put on a lot more muscle over the pre-season. He looks really tall or bigger. I don't know whether it's just the new jersey on him, but I think he's certainly his stamina has improved and is built. Jonesy's brilliant. He's one for the future, Alex. Fabinho come on, won us the penalty. I was tipping him to possibly be our 4th choice centre back if Thiago come in and we kept Gini. But then you wouldn't get the goals where he got against Crystal Palace, Man City last season. You wouldn't have got him in the penalty area today. So I think Fabinho is underrated when he's not just a holding midfielder for us. He's really, really good at going forward for us and assists. He doesn't get many assists or goals, obviously, but when he gets a goal, he gets a goal. You know, it's typical Brazilian, really, isn't it? Samba. Sam Skill, his goals, yeah, quality.
Kiva O'Neill from the Echo says Leeds are going to cause a lot of trouble for a lot of teams this season. If you're a Man City, if you're a Chelsea, if you're an Arsenal, we're looking at that thinking, well, if they can score 3 goals at Anfield, then they're definitely going to give us headaches when we play them.
Yeah, I don't know, Alex. I'm not going to buy into that. I think, look, at the end of the season, everybody, I had a couple of mates that are Chelsea and was saying, oh, we scored 3 against us. Yeah, but we scored 5. I mean, we had the League One. They'd more to play at the end of the season than we had. But you know what, Alex? Leeds came to Anfield today and all the pressure was on Liverpool. There was no pressure on Leeds. Everybody expected Leeds. That suited Leeds. Leeds were going to Anfield. There's no fans. We've had the season of our lives. There's no pressure on us. And sometimes, and I know myself playing football and watching it, Alex, that sometimes that suits the opposition down to the ground. And look, but the most important thing is the final result. Who won it? We did. The stats will say we won it. And it just shows sometimes possession and stats in football mean nothing, as it did so today for Leeds. I mean, the good stats, possession in the game, but they didn't get it, you know what I mean? And they probably did deserve it. Probably on another day, they would have. Another year, another season, a bit like last season when we went to Villa, Palace, we played Brighton, Leicester, West Ham at home. Another season, we probably would have drew or lost them, but we didn't, and that's the reality. As I said, 199 points out of 231. The cream always rises to the top, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Chelsea in the next game, we'll see how they start against Brighton. Would you be surprised if we kept the same team for the Chelsea game?
Possibly Fabinho might come in. I think we might go with Fabinho, but it's hard to say. I mean, Henderson's only back. You could see today he wasn't really at it. Like a lot of them weren't, apart from Mo. But it was kind of a bit of a pre-season about it today, Alex. I didn't see the players highly motivated and really at it today. You know what I mean? I got that kind of pre-season vibe about it, but I never underestimated that we weren't going to win the game. I really didn't. There's probably once out of a couple of teams I mentioned last season that we almost slipped up against. It was one of those games I just knew we were going to do it in the end. But I know, look, Arsenal, Chelsea will look at this United and think, yeah, if Leeds can score 3 against them, but Leeds I think will do well this season. And I mean, they're going to have to outscore us as well. We can go to Chelsea next week, score early and see it out. And remember, Chelsea brought in a load of signings. I still think the manager's a bit naive. But they all have to implement together, you know what I mean? And now the pressure is on Chelsea, the pressure's on Lampard. He hasn't got just to use you players anymore. He hasn't got the excuse of we're on a transfer ban. So we're kind of going to Chelsea next week and the pressure will be on us. But with Chelsea being at home and us getting the result and putting in the performance like we did today, the pressure's going to be on Chelsea and it might suit us, you know?
Yeah, watching that and it was very clear to see Salah and Ronaldo was our 2 players. You see Ronaldo play that well and sort of get out of these tight situations where he's got 3 or 4 men around him. You kind of think, well, actually, do we need Thiago? Someone here in the comments said, actually, we don't need Thiago. I'll try and find it. Thiago is not needed, the Anfield talk says. I mean, when Jimmy plays that well, what's your answer to the Thiago rumours?
I think it's going to happen, Alex. The rumours are rife, and if you believe what you read into and believe some of the close sources, I think Thiago's a done deal. Look, you can never have, I suppose there's a bit of a saying, you can never have too many good players. I'm not always buying into that. But as I just mentioned at the start of this show, when I come on, that this is going to be the longest ever and most intense Premier League season. We already have Chamberlain out injured. We know Henderson can get his fair share of injuries and Fabinho, which they have in the last 2 seasons. So to have someone like a Thiago there, a world-class player, like, I mean, let's not underestimate how good he is. It'd be unbelievable. And I mean, it'd be a real, obviously a marquee signing, would be a big statement. But yeah, look, I agree with both. Do we need him? There's a shout to say that we possibly don't, but I would be in the agreement of, yeah, bring him in, let's get it done. I mean, Wijnaldum hadn't got his shooting boots on today, which was a bit frustrating, but like with Salah, I think he was our second best player in the game, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Darren, as you mentioned there, this is going to be a long season. It's normally a 9-month season. It's only 8 months. And I'm going to be seeing a lot of you across the season. So, Darren, big up to yourself. Have a drink on us tonight.
Take care. Have a good one.
Next up, very, very excited about this one. My brother Ryan, Domination, LFC fan from Jamaica. How are we doing, my bro? It's your Kop TV debut.
I'm doing good, man. What's up? What are you doing, man? Great game, man. Entertaining game, man. And I'm really happy we get the victory, man, to start the season, man. Mohamed Salah, the Egypt thing, man.
Yeah, you've
How
got
you feel?
there in the background. I'm good, man. I'm just relieved. I'm relieved that we won today, 4-3 in the end. Talk to me, Ryan, about your experiences from the first minute where Salah scores a penalty right up until the end where he scores another penalty. Everything in between was just madness, right?
Yeah, it was a difficult game for us. Leeds United is a very good team. I just want to big up to the Leeds United fans. Nothing to shame about it. Lose to the Premier League champion. And not many teams can score 3 goals on Liverpool at Anfield. So you guys need to hold your heads at Leeds United fans. Nothing to worry about. You guys are going to be good in the English Premier League. Here is my surprise pick. I just want to just touch a little bit on Leeds United. They are big, massive clubs. But you just up against a better team, Liverpool Football Club, with a lot of firepower going forward. And for me, the first minute into the game, in that 4 minutes when Salah get that penalty, I said, yes, I just want to score to break the momentum that Leeds United coming because they pressed us all over the field. And they are a very difficult team to play against. And a lot of teams in the English Premier League going to have problems to play against. So I don't want Liverpool fans to worry about we're letting in a lot of goals. Just the first game in the Premier League. Jordan Ennis looking good inside the midfield, and I'm so happy to see the captain back. Is that a great decision by Jurgen Klopp to drop Fabinho? I think, yeah, because Premier League restart Fabinho looking shaky, giving away the ball too many times, and I'm just happy we get the cheap ones. That really matters to us.
A few fans here coming in for Ryan. Claudia T, big up Ryan, LFC, Darren Wheeler, good man Ryan. The Anfield Talk, you're my boy Ryan. So yeah, I mean, 7 goals today, man. It was a bit of a crazy one. I don't think anyone expected this. At the end of the day, though, like you said, we've come away with the 3 points. If there's anything to improve on going forward now, Ryan, that you've seen in the first game, what would that be?
Definitely, we look like we really need to get a centre back. Joe Gomez not looking too good with Virgil van Dijk, and I know from Premier League restart, Joe Gomez has been a little bit shaky, but I'm just giving some more game time. But I think we should sign another centre back. Probably not Koulibaly, but probably someone way cheaper. But in the midfield, we really need Thiago. Liverpool fans has been crying out for this guy. This guy has been crying out for us. A lot of reports have been saying we sign him in close. I don't know what to believe, seriously. But Ismail Sarr from Watford, it'll be a great option. He can play on the left and the right, and that would be good. But what you think about Brewster? I don't think Brewster deserves a chance to play. He can bring something different to this Liverpool team.
Listen, man, I'm Ryan Brewster's biggest fan. I would be absolutely devastated and gutted and upset and pissed off if we either loan him out or sell him permanently. I think he's more than ready. I mean, today, for example, let's say if it was 3-3 with 15 minutes left like it was, I would have brought on Brewster. I really think he would have put the cat amongst the pigeons and made himself a real nuisance up front. But let's talk about Salah today, Ryan. 3 goals on the first day of the season, a hat-trick already, 2 penalties and an absolute wonder strike for his second goal. When that second goal goes in, I mean, the space that he had to get it in the goal was probably about that big. And he's absolutely flies it in the top right-hand corner, Ryan.
It was a beautiful goal by Mohamed Salah. I know what's the problem too with a lot of Liverpool fans. I just want to get at my Liverpool fans. Not every Liverpool fans like this. Mohamed Salah probably not having best game, but one thing is sure, Mohamed Salah will put the ball in the back of the net. And recently, Mohamed Salah come on a lot of criticized by the Liverpool fan base. But look what Mohamed Salah, look at him stats. This guy just produced goals. I don't matter. Once he put the ball in the back of the net, I'm not too selfish. I am okay. With that second goal, it was a beautiful goal, and especially the last penalty. To have that composure, probably last kick of the minute to win that penalty for us. Yeah, Mohamed Salah will be a top player for us this season. He will definitely score a lot of goals, man. Actually, I'm excited for Mohamed Salah. That's the confidence I want Mohamed Salah have to go in up against him former team Chelsea in the second year of the season. Well, it was a brilliant goal for Mohamed Salah, the first goal, man. I'm happy for Mohamed Salah. One of my Liverpool favorites. You know, I have a lot of Liverpool. So, the Egyptian team. Mohamed Salah running down the wing. Salah, the Egyptian king. Mohamed Salah. Yes, man, I'm happy, man. I'm happy for Salah, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, we're playing Chelsea next week. Do you think Klopp will bring Fabinho back in and maybe take out Keita?
I believe Keita will. I think Keita must play in the Liverpool team right now if we really need creativity. But we all know that Jurgen Klopp, when him come up against the big team, him like have that solid midfield where get at people. So I probably think Keita will definitely drop for the next game against Chelsea. But if I was Jurgen Klopp, I would have definitely played Gini, Endisi, and the likes of Navigator back in the midfield. But I know Jurgen Klopp too good, just like my wife. So I think Jurgen Klopp will go with Fabinho and Endisi and Gini in the midfield against Chelsea. So Keita will drop out against Chelsea because we really need to ensure that the midfield solid to protect that backline. We're conceding too much goals.
Absolutely. Claudia T here said Mo for the golden boot. I mean, he's made a big statement already. And you know Mo at this stage right now, Ryan. You know that when he's gone back into that changing room tonight, he's going to be absolutely over the moon that he's taken a big lead already in the golden boot race. It starts from today.
Yeah, definitely. Mohamed Salah always up there. From Mohamed Salah get him first signing of the season, he always right up there with the golden boot. So it's unfortunate him short, small last season. So this season will definitely bounce back and get the Premier League golden boot. Trust me. Clinical striker.
Yes, my bro. Listen, I'm going to say goodbye to now. I've still got more guests to come. But Ryan, it was an absolute pleasure. This is the first time you've actually come on the Kop TV, and I'm honoured, man. It's a real great occasion to see you, as well as the fact that we won. But listen, bro, I'm going to send you the link for every fan cam now. If you're available, please come and join, my brother.
Definitely. Anytime you want me on the channel, man, just send it, man. Especially send it on Twitter. It's not pulling up on Instagram, so send it on Twitter.
Okay, we'll do. My brother.
Thank you very much for having me, man. Bye, Ray.
Bro, take care. Another guest waiting in the wings. It's man like Stro. Yes, my brother. How are you? It's been. Do you know what, bro? Before we even talk about football, it's been a while since I've actually seen your face. We've done a stream together, so I just wanted to check in and make sure you're blessed.
How are you, Mr. Sky Sports over there? Like, what are you saying,
bro?
Like, what are you saying, man? Big moves, like, good to be on, man. Obviously, I had to come see my brother once again, so hope you had a good holiday and all that.
Yeah, come on, man. What can you not tell by my incredible Mediterranean? What's going on? What? Laughing and that? No, it's not. It's not great. To be fair, it's one of the best times I've had, and that says a lot. But right, talk to me about this fucking game because it was an absolute roller coaster of emotions. I was pacing up and down the road like a madman, biting my nails, punching the walls, hugging pillows. Talk to me and just give me your roller coaster of that 90 minutes.
So obviously, we were speaking earlier. Obviously, her dad's a Leeds fan, so you can imagine how fun of an experience that was for me. I'm annoyed for a number of reasons. Listen, I love him, but Firmino at times needs to show that killer edge. I mean, you look at the one in the first half where he slipped in. He's trying to cross it, just dink it over the keeper, and then the one where he slipped in towards the end, like he's trying to hit it with his right foot back across where the defender's coming. Just roll your left foot at it, and it's like, if that's against the United and that's the last minute of the game and we need it to win, it's not good enough. And listen, poor mistakes. Like Van Dijk is bordering in a bit of arrogance, but thing is, he'll do that in a game and it'll be all over social media where he'll pull it off, like the Brighton one where he has the ball back. So it's like you can't really question him.
9 out of 10 of those flicks that he does go to the man. It's just today because it hasn't come off. People have gone, "Well, he's arrogant." Do you go along with that story?
It looks arrogant, it does, but watched him throughout the season, it's like, you know what I mean? So I can see why people are bringing up the whole arrogant thing, but at the same time, I've watched him, you've watched him for a few years now, and he's not, for a fact that'll drive him insane. The fact that he's like, look at the Arsenal game, he was fuming. Listen, he says it, he loves a clean sheet, and he'll be the one that's probably the most angriest out of everyone. But like, let's talk about Leeds. They will give teams one hell of a game this season.
Headaches.
Like, and I'm not even like Rodrigo. Yeah, he gave away the penalty. he's a Spanish number 9, and they've literally just come up and they've got him that Koch. Even though he made the error, I thought he was a decent. But you've got Calvin Phillips in the midfield, who's a baller. Jack Harrison's a baller.
What a goal that was! Do you know what? I would actually maybe go as far as saying that was goal of the game. Salah's second goal was obviously a screamer, but for Philip to get the ball in that number 6 position from the goalkeeper, turn around and ping one, and let's not lie, bro, not many men are bringing that ball down, especially
the way he did as well.
Especially the way he did and how small Harrison is. He touches it with his right, and whilst he's still in the air, flicks it round Trent with his left, catches up to it and scores. Some of those goals, I mean, for that one, you just have to stand back and say, fair fucking play. That's a great finish.
Yeah, I mean, Leeds are, like I said, I've watched a lot of them. Like, I've watched 95% of their games last season, and I knew they would do a madness when they came up. And before the game, my dad looked at me and I just said, this is going to be one of our toughest games of the season. He was like, really? I was like, I know how good you are, and I know how good you can play in. Listen, at Anfield without fans, it does miss, and it just lacked that something. Which, do you know what I mean? Like, if that was Anfield roaring, I don't think we make half of the mistakes that we make. I don't think it's that same kind of performance. But it was a frustrating game to watch. But I'm just Mo Salah, man. Mo
Salah, let's get on to him. A hat trick already, Ryan. The first game of the season. I mean, his confidence is sky high. I was just saying to the other Ryan beforehand that he really is going to go home tonight with a smile on his face, knowing that he's already leading the pack of the Golden Boot, and the race for it starts today.
Listen, if he carries on like that, the race is finished for it today. Like, he's in unbelievable. Like, the thing is, there was times last season where Salah was frustrating because he'd do a madness one game and then he'd be very quiet. This Salah looked like the Salah when he first came in, and he scored 30, 40 goals that season. Unplayable at times. Mane, unplayable at times. And yeah, he didn't get on the score sheet, but the two of them just absolutely ran riot. And listen, like I said, I criticised Firmino, but the stuff that he was doing off the ball, the little flicks, and like that front three is a joke. But the thing is, it's like in that game we missed a Thiago light player, someone to get the ball down when we need to slow the pace of the game. And we need something like that going forward, because if we play like, if we have them kind of mistakes against Chelsea, that's going to be a more frustrating game.
Yeah, you mentioned Chelsea next week. We'll have to see how they play against Brighton. They're playing Monday night, I think, but they're going to come also with the absolute smoke. I think Ziyech is out for a few weeks, which I'm actually really happy about. Out of all their players they've bought, I think he's potentially the most dangerous.
Yeah. Because, like, the thing with Kai Havertz, unbelievable signing. His talent and his ceiling is through the roof. But the thing with him is, what a lot of people forget about with transfers is he's leaving Germany. He's a young kid still. He's got to move away from his family potentially. Different lifestyle, different food. Like, that naturally will take time for him to settle in. And he's going to need some bedding in time. Timo Werner's a similar thing is. But the only problem is he's coming against us, and obviously we've completely messed him about in the transfer window. So it's like he's got a point to prove. So yeah, that and obviously the Lampard and Klopp incident, like they're going to want to do one over on us 100%. And listen, if we turn up knowing how we can turn up, we should bury him. But we said this against Arsenal, and we made silly mistakes then. So yeah, we've got to put them away next week. If we put them away next week, not one of them can say anything.
Absolutely. Do you know what? The one person that my timeline opened up to when the game was going on was Terry Flewers, who obviously had a lot to say about Liverpool's defensive failure. A lot of things to say about that touch from Verge. But it was nice to see him get nicely shut up when the fourth goal goes in. Obviously, you're on Terry's streams a lot. I mean, I wouldn't be tweeting about United all game if they were playing badly. Let's just say that. I think the word, well, there's two words. It's rent-free, I think is the phrase. Do you agree there, Stro?
You know what? Give him a bit of credit. Like, he was actually praising Salah, and he was actually saying, look, if Maguire made these kind of mistakes, like, I'd be fuming. I don't understand why fans were tweeting about it. So it's one of them where, like, the thing is, let's just be realistic. Every single person on any single football show on YouTube, apart from Liverpool fans, want to be in our position. Champions League, couple seasons ago, Premier League last season. Like, we are in the best position. And the reason why I'm starting to get frustrated transfer-wise is because it's like, let's capitalise on it. We can dominate for 3-4 years. This team is that good. Klopp is the best manager in the league at the minute. Like, I beg any City fan try and tell me different. Your manager lost more games than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Shut your mouth, you can't say anything. And this is big ball talk now. Like, Pep's not up for it. Like, let's be honest, he wasn't up for it last season. His team completely bottled it. So we have to capitalise on it. And if we don't, we're going to let the likes of City back in. We're going to let the likes of Manchester United back in, which is, I live in Manchester. I can't deal with that.
Yeah, I don't want that for you, bro. I just wouldn't want you to be involved in that toxic atmosphere. But like you say, an incredible result today, 4-3. A lot of things to be happy about, but I think you're more looking at today the things that we can improve on, not getting too carried away. I mean, I'm not getting too carried away, but it's hard not to react all crazy when you score a goal in the last 5 minutes. But you're playing the more glass maybe half full. Sorry, glass half empty.
Yeah, because like obviously you know me, I manage a team and I've done my coaching badges, so I look at it from a bit of a tactical point of view, which annoys me at times because instead of just being able to sit there and enjoy the game, I'm looking at like, well, why has he made that substitution? Why is he doing this, and this? And for me, it's like if we had a Thiago, I don't think, one, we don't have less possession than Leeds. Secondly, we don't concede the goals and the mistakes that we're doing because we keep hold of the ball a lot better. And for a team like us, if we keep hold of the ball, we can pin them back. And I'm not being funny, is then you don't have to rely on the likes of Trent and Robertson bombing forward all the time because Thiago can pick the eye of a needle pass from the midfield. So yeah, I just want him to come in, man, so bad.
Yeah, me too. I'm a huge fan of his. Listen, Stroke, thank you so much for coming on, my brother. I really appreciate your time. I'll take care. You take care, and I'll see you very soon.
See you soon, man.
Right, guys, that is it for another edition of the Fan Cams. Liverpool 4, Leeds United 3. To round up, then, let's take a few pointers away. The first pointer is Mohamed Salah is back. And do you know what? I was actually thinking, because of his new hairstyle, it might take a few games to get back into the swing of things. But no, a hat-trick on the first day of the season. I thought Gini Wijnaldum was exceptional today. His break-up play, his link-up, his retention was unbelievable. An incredible player, to be honest. A quick one there from Diego. Says, evening all. Most media trying to put a negative spin on Liverpool. Big mistake. Klopp won't let go the title easily. Yes. Another great thing to take away from today was the fact that we were clinical with our penalties. There was a few seasons ago where we missed a few, but now whenever Salah steps up, I'm totally confident that we can just drill home those penalties, both penalties for me. Looking on the negative side of things, I think defensively we were so high today, not literally high. I mean, so high up in terms of playing that high line that Leeds really did sometimes just play a ball over the top and they were in. Bamford had many chances. If he was more clinical, it could have been a very different story today at Anfield, even though we weren't clinical either. We probably should have scored 3 or 4 more goals and the scoreline would have just been even more mental. But yeah, looking forward to the next game. I do think we need to bring Fabinho in just to stable up that midfield, play Henderson, play Wijnaldum, maybe drop Keita for the bench and bring him on. And I'm going to leave it on the fact that if we didn't win tonight, and I've got a very good mate who's a Leeds fan who's already texted me, who's already posted on my wall on Facebook. Yeah, they're old school like that up in Leeds. It's Facebook posts. But I would have been absolutely destroyed if we didn't win tonight. And I probably still will for the fact that we conceded 3 goals. But back with On the Radar Monday morning, we'll get back into the transfer gossip. And then next week, of course, we play Chelsea, where I'll be doing yet another fan cam for you all. Let me know if you'd like to be involved in that. But for now, Liverpool 4, Leeds United 3, the first game of the season. Mohamed Salah hat-trick. It's not bad, is it? Remember to please like this video, comment to it, even when it's not live anymore, and share it, of course. Please share it far and wide. And most importantly, press that subscribe button if you haven't already. That's been your fan cam for the first game of the season. Claudia T says, great show, Alex. Thank you very much, Claudia. Take care. You'll never walk alone. And there you go. 3 points to set us off. All the best.